talking about survival in the opening part of the program. And for today's Culture Vulture, we kind of talk survival because we're talking marriage a little bit.
You do have to survive through marriage, yes.
you need survival skills for that sometimes, right? But more specifically, we're talking weddings today.
Yeah, weddings and bizarre weddings that happened. Actually, recently in May, a man from Java in Indonesia, his post online drew a lot of attention because he married a rice cooker.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like the machine that cooks
The
rice.
machine that cooks rice.
Yeah, I suppose that was an ambiguous sentence. It could have been someone whose
name is Rice.
she
and
was
last name
employed.
Cooker.
Well, not either that or she was employed as a cooker of rice
Yeah, exactly.
at a restaurant or something, right?
True. Well, the reason was, quote, the rice cooker is fair, quiet, obedient, doesn't talk much, and knows how to cook.
Obedient. Wow. Welcome
Whoa.
to 2021, sir. I wonder why he had a hard time finding a woman to marry.
But unfortunately, the marriage didn't really last. After 4 days, he split with the bride
Oh,
and he divorced her.
what happened?
Reason?
It burnt his rice?
No.
Can't do the one thing.
I hope it did. Yeah,
So a lot of people
He had one job.
So a lot of people are speculating, oh, maybe this is just for entertainment. It wasn't like a real deal. Yeah. But that happened. And because of that, I looked up all these different bizarre weddings that happened.
Yeah, because, entertainment purposes, maybe he wanted to get his name in the news or on social or something like that. But these stories pop up more often than you'd think.
Yes.
Question before we move on. This was not an actual legal marriage, right?
Right,
Like
no.
it was just like a ceremony.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I don't think you can actually get legally married to an object.
Right?
Right?
Okay.
Only to a person, a living human being, right?
That might depend on where you are in the world. Maybe some countries might not have rules about that. Because,
Maybe.
I mean, as we go through your list, I'm sure you've got some weird stuff on here. But I'm thinking I don't know, if it's not in the Constitution or if that's the way to say it, then maybe it is legal somewhere sometimes. People have married trees and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they have, but I don't know if they've ever made it official, right?
Like in a document.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the tree doesn't have, well, I shouldn't say this, but doesn't have like a voice. So, or hands to sign the documents,
Uh-huh.
I think, right?
Press it against the bark.
So I
Bark
don't
print.
see how it would be possible because you can't really ask for the tree's opinion.
That would be like
whether
that would
he
be-
or she would want to marry the person.
like a tree's dojan.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
like the bark. on the
Bark
tree.
print.
That would be so cute.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so there's this term for people who fall in love with objects.
Weird is the word.
No, it's called objectophilia. So love for objects, basically. So in history, there have been some cases where people actually married objects. They had weddings with objects. So a German woman, Michelle Quebke, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right, but Michelle fell in love with a Boeing plane.
Oh.
Okay.
So she was in a relationship.
This is going to be my response for every example you give. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That was my kind of response when I saw these. So after being in a relationship for 5 years, only through the airport windows, she wanted to marry a Boeing 737-800 in Amsterdam in March 2020.
Very specific.
Yes, so she, I think, had an intimate ceremony with the airplane.
Okay.
But when she couldn't see her, she had an airplane figure, kind of like a
cutout?
No, it looks like a real plane, but a miniature
A
plane.
model.
Yeah, she would hold on to it every night
Okay.
and sleep with it. She is a saleswoman by profession and collects aircraft parts as a hobby and dreams to be an aircraft mechanic one day.
Okay.
So I think she had kind of like, a true love for just airplanes in general. So that's one person. A woman named Amy Wolf married an amusement park ride
Which ride?
called 1001 Nachts.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of ride that is, but it's a roller coaster.
Okay.
And yeah, she had an instant attraction to the attraction.
Nice play on words.
Ba-dum-bum.
You know, obviously we sit here and we make jokes, right? But there's got to be something happening emotionally / psychologically.
Probably.
I don't think every person who does this is just trying to make some sort of internet joke.
Right.
I think there's probably some sincerity here
Probably.
sometimes too,
Yeah.
right?
So I have one more example of objectophilia, which is a woman named Amanda Whitaker. She is a New Yorker, and she fell in love with Libby. Libby was her kind of like cute name, a nickname that she made for this object. And she was in her early 30s. Can you guess which object it is? Libby in New York. Libby.
Libby. I'm trying to think of a company.
Or does the name have something? Is it like alluding to a certain thing?
Yeah, a thing.
Clue is there. Okay.
Libby.
Oh.
Libby.
Yeah, right. The Statue of Liberty.
Yes!
Uh-huh.
Good one. So they had a wedding.
Okay.
But that was so she actually changed her last name to
Statue?
Liberty.
Liberty.
Libby.
Libby.
Yeah. So from Amanda Whitaker, she changed her name to Amanda Libby.
Libby.
All right. We'll take a break. And when we come back, Kaylin, you're going to tell us about some interesting wedding traditions from around the world?
Yes.
Got it. Here's Bruno Mars. Marry You. Interesting wedding traditions from around the world. You want to start here in Korea?
Of course. A lot of foreigners think that this is weird. Groom's feet are beaten after the wedding ceremony.
After the wedding, the groom's feet are beaten. Beaten with what?
Beaten with either a stick or dried fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reason
So-
being?
Reason being, I think it was to kind of like stimulate like blood flow. That was kind of like the reason, but it was kind of like a way to, it was like a fun play. But it got to a point where, some people actually got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think they do that anymore though.
They
Like
don't.
I didn't do that in my wedding, but it's more like a traditional thing.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Well, in Malaysia, guess what? The bride and groom are banned to go to the bathroom and they have to stay in their house for 3 days. So even though they're staying at the house for 3 days, they can't go to the bathroom.
Oh my
So
God.
they're given little food and little drinks
What?
so that can survive 3 days.
Oh my God.
Do we have anyone listening in Malaysia today who can text in and tell us about this?
So this is part of Tidong culture. And they said that if you don't do the ritual, then it said that it will tarnish the bride and groom with bad luck.
You know what else is bad luck?
What?
Not going to the bathroom for 3 days. That's got to be considered bad luck too, right?
That's true. But they believe that it will bring infidelity or like a breakup or death of their children. So it's kind of taken seriously,
I wonder what
guess.
the connection is between using the washroom and all of the things that you just listed, though.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like, you have to stay indoors. It's like you want to keep bad luck out. And there's some, cultures where they say if you release yourself, you're whatever luck that you already have, you're kind of like
Okay.
releasing
Oh yeah,
that too.
so even us, like we don't like cut
Clip
our
our
fingernails,
fingernails, yeah.
and stuff like that before like a big test.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we have that.
Okay.
So in Kenya, if you're the bride, you are expected to be spat on by your father on your head and chest area
Wow.
during your wedding.
Thanks, Dad.
So the
Yeah.
Maasai culture, they see spitting as a symbol of good luck and fortune. That's why it's like that. there.
Okay.
On the head and on the chest area of the bride.
Yes. So
Interesting.
the
During
father
the
spits on them.
ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Noor texted in. Noor's in Malaysia right now. We can go to the washroom, but we can't leave the house.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Woo!
That's
good.
a lot. That's a
good.
lot healthier.
Okay, so maybe a long time ago it was more serious. Like they couldn't go to the bathroom.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Thanks for that, Noor.
Thank you. Okay. So in China, there's a region where the bride practices a crying ritual on her wedding day. Yes, of course, it gets emotional on a wedding day, right? I
Yeah.
think I cried too a little bit. My husband cried too. And a lot of brides do cry, but you have to cry in this area. So the Tujia brides are expected to cry for 1 hour each day for 10 days after you get married.
Wow.
Really get it out of their system for being married.
Yeah, so I suggest you fight all the fights and have all the arguments in those 10 days that you don't have to cry anymore
Oh,
later
maybe
on.
that might be the purpose. Like you have that emotional release.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What do you do? You said you have to. So what if you do? What do they do if it doesn't come naturally?
I guess they have to kind of try and get it out of their system.
Wow.
They probably have ways or know-hows to cry, right?
Or watch Castaway?
Their thighs.
Or mom gives, maybe it's like a tradition there where mothers like pass down their know-hows of how to cry for those 10 days.
Okay.
Maybe
Interesting.
it's an
Maybe,
assumption.
right.
One last one.
Okay. In Romania, the bride is kidnapped. But not by some kidnapper, but by their friends and family before the wedding. So
Okay.
the whole deal is for the husband to pay her ransom to take her and be wed with her.
What happens to that money?
I guess
The in-laws take
The
it?
in-laws or the friends take it, probably, right?
Okay, that one's kind of fun.
In a playful way. So
In a
this is
playful way, yes.
arranged and there is like an aware, it's not like you're just literally picked up off the street kind of thing, right?
And like
Oh,
kept in
yeah.
a dark cell somewhere
No.
until the ransom money shows up.
Because we did talk about this
Yeah,
when we were talking
yeah.
about the Korean TV show Bossam.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was really serious, right?
Yeah.
This
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like it's part of the ceremony.
Okay.
Oh, this is playful.
Okay, this is playful. That's great.
100%.
Interesting topic, Kaylin. We'll have to leave.